Toast to you not being pregnant. If you're not pregnant, then we should.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Remember, you gave me some wedding gifts on this show.
Yes, I do. Thank you. And it's Hasan Minhaj.
No.
Yes.
No.
Really?
Well, my name is Hasan Minhaj.
Oh.
You've heard a lot about Ellen DeGeneres in the last year or so, no doubt. Mainly in that you heard that her personality isn't exactly what you'd expect it to be, and just as important, it's not as nice as she and many others have proclaimed it to be. The scandal that hit her in 2020 was not only massive, but it was rather revealing, to the extent that many have looked back and seen that certain celebrities that were on Ellen's show stood up to her antics in one form or another. So allow us to show you all the time that celebrities stood up to Ellen DeGeneres on her own show. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 10, Mariah Carey.
Toast to you not being pregnant. If you're not pregnant, then we should.
My goodness.
The incident with Mariah Carey is arguably one of her more infamous interviews ever. Ellen had heard rumors that Carey was pregnant, but when Mariah deflected, Ellen brought forth some wine to see if she would drink it. Here's the problem that Ellen knew full well. When you're pregnant, you're not supposed to take in alcohol of any kind because it could possibly hurt the child. Mariah Carey felt pressured and did her best to both refuse and laugh it off, but you could tell she was a bit shaken. This is very much a case of Ellen crossing the line, and in 2020, Carey was interviewed again about this exchange, and she noted that this haunted her for a while, because she would go on to lose that child in a miscarriage. So not only did Ellen create an awkward interview, she created a painful memory. Number 9, Katy Perry. When Katy Perry was brought onto the show one time, Ellen somehow forgot that Perry had once been married to actor and comedian Russell Brand. Katy was flat out shocked about the memory lapse. But that's not where it ended, because then she said the zinger of, "Remember, you gave me some wedding gifts on this show?"
Remember, you gave me some wedding gifts on this show.
Yes, I do. That'll be cut out. All right.
Yep, Ellen had Katy on the show before her marriage and gave her gifts, and subsequently forgot about it apparently. Ellen apologized and Katy even motioned for this exchange to be edited out, but that was never going to happen. Now, true, it may not have been a true stood-up moment, but she was very happy to call out Ellen, her friend, for making such a bad faux pas. Number 8, Justin Timberlake. Ellen and Justin Timberlake, who are also friends in real life, were having fun on the show and drinking tequila while playing one of Justin's songs. As this was happening, Ellen messed up one of the lines to the song. Justin was not amused, as he couldn't believe she didn't know the lyrics. Ellen then tried to play it off, but it only grew in awkwardness for her as others piled on to show how much she messed up. Now sure, this isn't the most dramatic way to stand up to Ellen, but when it's your song and it's your friend that's botching your lyrics, yeah, you need to call him out on it, which he rather did epically. Number 7, CorinneOlympios. When it comes to CorinneOlympios, she was a big fan of Ellen's who was excited to be on the show, not the least of which was to interact with Ellen. But as you can guess though, it did not go well. After doing her appearances, she went on to the Morning Breath and admitted that she was very shocked by how Ellen not only acted on her show, but behind the scenes. Olympios was made to feel uncomfortable by Ellen overall, which she clarified by noting that she was a big fan of Ellen's going into the show, and yet by the end of it, she had some mixed feelings. This, of course, is infinitely relevant because of how Ellen has been called out in regards to her scandal involving her show and the treatment of her staff. Olympios really stood up to Ellen by doing that interview and showing that things weren't exactly the best there. She was one of the first to speak out about her and gave a lot of courage to those who hadn't spoke out yet to raise their voices to get change. Number 6, Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes came onto the show and Ellen gave her a jacket for her comedy tour that she did, but one look at that jacket gave Wanda all the ammunition she needed to poke fun at the host. Mainly, Wanda pointed out how restricted the tour was in terms of location, including the fact that Ellen stayed in Los Angeles for parts of the tour and only went to Seattle for the other real tour location. Wanda kept piling on, and you could tell that Ellen was a little bit put off by the constant mocking by Wanda, not that Sykes cared, which, to be honest, Ellen deserved this because of how she's treated others over the years. It's not nice to be made fun of in front of everyone, is it, Ellen? Number 5, Giada De Laurentiis. Now, to be fair on this one, this is more of a case of Ellen standing up to an out-of-control guest. When Giada De Laurentiis came onto the show to do some standard cooking, she wouldn't stop insulting Ellen full stop. The dish they were making was a special kind of rice balls. Ellen was having a little trouble making the rice ball, and Giada couldn't help herself and referred to it as dog food. In that same segment was Nicole Kidman, and Giada laid into her too, with the woman who can't cook made the perfect ball. So what did these leading ladies do? Well, they teamed up to take her down by insulting what she does best.
He kind of balls?
No, I'm not. It's Nicole.
such as noting that the meal was very dry and not very flavorful. They let it rip so Giada would learn her place. On this very specific case, we give Ellen a pass for making fun of her guests because this time, they deserved it. Number 4, Cher. This is another classic case of Ellen taking things way too far. Ellen took Cher to a beauty salon of sorts and decided to give funny haircuts to fans, done by the two of them. Cher was into this, but Ellen, well, she was more interested in comedy than anything else. For example, Ellen continually interfered with Cher's work. She started to do some karaoke on Cher's songs and called out the lyrics. When all was said and done, Ellen tried to play it cool by saying that they were best friends, while Cher was basically running away from her and denying any kind of friendship. Number 3, Michelle Obama. When Ellen got former First Lady Michelle Obama on her show and took her shopping on the basis that Michelle was out of practice by the time her husband's 2 terms were done, they went to a nearby CVS pharmacy, and Ellen decided to help her adjust to life after the White House. Naturally, Ellen didn't waste a single moment in her adventure with Michelle to rib her, joke with her, and try to make fun of the power that she had as First Lady. Ellen even went as far to ask Michelle if she could pull some strings with the people at the US Mint to make it so that Ellen herself could be on the face of some money. She even started to make a pitch as to how and why she should be on the face of a dollar bill. Michelle stood up to her and noted that on the money you have to do something historically memorable, like Harriet Tubman freeing slaves. Ellen kept going through with the jokes and ribs, almost seemingly trying to drive Michelle crazy. At one point, Michelle said that Ellen's behavior was like a 3-year-old. Number 2, Hasan Minhaj. Hasan Minhaj is the host of Patriot Act, a Netflix show that somewhat recently got canceled. Ellen appeared to really like the show and even said that she was a fan, except she couldn't say his name right. She said his name like Minaj instead of Minhaj.
It's so nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's Hasan Minhaj.
No.
Yes.
No.
Really?
Well, my name is Hasan Minhaj.
Oh.
I want to do this. I actually want to do this on national.
As if that wasn't enough, Ellen kept saying his name wrong, and he had to not just correct her, but say how if she could say other celebrities' names without issues, then she should be able to say his, and then gave some examples talking about that very fact. And yeah, Ellen should have known it before he even came on. Number 1, Dakota Johnson. Dakota Johnson was once on Ellen's show. It was just after her birthday party, a party that Ellen wasn't at. Ellen noted that she hadn't been invited to the party, but Dakota noted that not only was this not true, Ellen was invited, but didn't say to her or anyone else why she couldn't come.
This time you invited me?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? I don't think so.
Ask everybody.
Ellen was shocked by this and looked over at her producer to ask why and how this happened, to which they noted she was out of town, and Ellen tried to recover with, "Yeah, I had that thing," clearly not remembering why she was out of town that day. Dakota Johnson knew she was in the right and thus laid into Ellen endlessly to make her suffer for the hate that she tried to bring. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the celebs that dared to speak back to Ellen when things got a little bit hairy on her show? Are you surprised by how many times people went and stood up to Ellen on the Ellen DeGeneres show, despite many thinking it's kind of taboo to go and do so? Do you wish that other celebrities did this and maybe even called out Ellen a little more loudly? Do you know of any other celebrity interviews where it was clear they wanted to say something but didn't? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time on the channel.